glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Kakwadash. The understar elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness at the house of David the elect. All right, we out of GMS Mississippi Camp. Today we're going to go into open forum. All right, and through the spirit, just going to kick it off with Sirach 10 and 10. All right.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 10. It states, the physician cut off a long disease.
So who's the physician? It's Yahweh. It tells you that the son is going to come with healing in his wings. All right, and part of that healing is plucking up the root of a proud nation. All right, you got it, brother.
So
quick for you. Ecclesiastes 3 and 2. A time to be born and a time to die.
Yeah.
A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Hey, you boys was planted during a rebirth period. Known as what? The Renaissance.
That's right.
Renaissance means what? Rebirth.
That's right.
So a seed was planted during what? The Ottoman Empire. All right, doing Granada, the rise of Granada. Those places that was important in the rise of Esau Edom.
That's right.
All right, and that birth grew into a long duration of a rulership that was contrary to the planet Earth, contrary to existence, contrary to mankind, but specifically contrary to the nation of Israel. All right, so can you go back to Sirach 10?
Hey, this is back into Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 10. The physician cut off a long disease, and he that is today a king tomorrow shall die.
He that is today a king. And can you go back to Ecclesiastes, a time to be born?
Yeah, God. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Yeah, hey, because you know, it's almost every metaphor, every parable, every analogy, it goes back to agriculture. A time to plant and a time to root up that which has been planted. But the Most High can plant a kingdom the same way a farmer will plant a seed.
That's it.
So the Most High planted a kingdom, but that kingdom is a weed in the earth. That kingdom is not a beneficial plant. It's a weed to existence. If a brother can get that, it's still right. Every plant that the Most High not planted should be rooted out.
That's right. That's right.
You know? So you got it, brother. The Most High planted you, but you're a weed in the garden, man.
And that goes to show you that the Most High is the ultimate physician.
Yep.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Because he's really cutting the things off by the way of Yahushua.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's how you know that the garden, going back to Genesis, was allegorical for nations.
That's right.
All right, because he planted a nation like you plant a tree.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, the trees of the garden.
The trees in the garden. That's right.
It's the book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee.
Now his day, who was he? Esau Edom, his duration. Now you went into Ecclesiastes, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. The key word is time. Esau Edom's kingdom is subject to times. And it seems to be hard to fathom with the pride of America and the duration of their existence. But Esau was subject to an expiration date, just how all the kingdoms were subject to expiration dates. The Babylonians, the Syrian Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Grecians, the Romans, they all came and went. All of their inventions, all of their buildings are now relics, museum pieces. All right, somebody said something?
No, I'm saying like the fashion of their world.
Their styles, their trends, it came and went. All right?
It says, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
And what are your bounds? Your limitations for the duration of your kingdom.
That's it.
You can only go so long.
That's right.
Now you're showing signs that you're about to be out of here.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
For one, the exposure of who the people who really run the world, they've been exposed.
And look at America now. America is really looking flabby and sick.
Yeah.
Like if you think about a basketball player back in the day like Michael Jordan. So when he first came into the league, you know, athletic, you know what I'm saying? He was lean, he was
Chiseled.
ripped up, he was chiseled out. But as he progressed through the duration of time, he became slower, he became a little heavier, and so on and so forth. And that's what we're witnessing within America.
Babylon is the wall. There's no more Marilyn Monroe. It's no more like the little Kim and her pride.
It's not vibrant anymore.
It's
Yeah.
not vibrant anymore.
Yeah.
Lost its glow.
Yeah.
It ain't popping.
It ain't popping.
yeah.
And I read somewhere recently that 69% of the suicide rates is from the so-called white man. This man is like killing himself at a high rate.
And that's Ecclesiastes playing out, chapter 12. Those that look out the window shall be darkened. Why? That's depression, anxiety. Why? Because your income has been limited.
And you're losing your position in the pecking order of mankind. When Esau came into power, he was at the top of the pecking order. Now he's experiencing life where he's feeling himself decline from that position of power. Halak was holding something?
It is James chapter 4, verse 14. Whereas ye know what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even as vapor that appeareth for a little time and vanishes away.
Yep, and also a kingdom is like a vapor that appeared for a little time and vanished away. All right, you should have brought a point.
If I can add, Elder, that's where you get able from in the Hebrew.
Yep.
Vapor.
Yeah, because it's transitory. But that's a vapor though.
That's right. That's right.
And the point I'm about to make, if y'all seen on Instagram, the Judah lady, I guess the Edomite lady, she feeling the wrath now.
Mm-hmm.
She like, and then the Judah lady, she like, y'all had 400 years plus.
Mm-hmm.
So why should we feel sorry for y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all way ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, this not our problem.
Mm-hmm.
We mad at us. They mad at the ones who's in power.
Yep.
So they feeling the wrath now.
And it's a whole genre dedicated to the aftermath of the destruction of America. And it's called dystopian. It's the dystopian genre. You look up the word dystopian, it's a post-apocalyptic world that's like the post-World War world,
Right.
which only the elites rule.
And you can see the reason why Esau is going to be cut off forever. Look how long he has actually ruled. As the Greeks, the fucking Romans,
Yep.
Rome reloaded.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this
brother.
man done had a nice fucking reign.
He was an untouchable for a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
That's why they said that show is on National Geographic or Discovery goes into it's entitled After Earth. You know, but it's like apocalyptic after basically the next world's war.
Yep. And they all show you the same thing. There's going to be a world war. There's going to be nuclear destruction. There's going to be life after nuclear destruction.
It's like that Book of Eli. You know, they came out many years ago. They moved with Denzel Washington.
Yep.
You know, but it depicted the reality of what is actually going to come.
You know, that post-apocalyptic existence, man. All right, because when we've never experienced a nuclear warhead. When a nuclear war hits, or a nuclear missile hits, that's going to change existence.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right. You got a little mind.
This Ecclesiastes chapter 1, starting verse 2. Vanity of vanity, said the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor, which he taketh under the sun? And of course, you know, regarding Jake don't realize a lot of stuff he's doing is vanity, man. And he's trying to reach that particular pinnacle in the world, trying to be like Esau. But how much more Esau being that the world was given to him, man? He has everything he's ever wanted, man, but it's all vanity, right?
Yep.
Verse 4, one generation passed away and another generation coming, but the earth abideth forever.
And it speaks for itself. One generation is about to pass away. It's the nation of Esau, Edom.
That's
They're
right.
about to pass away in their rulership. But the other generation that's coming is the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American. Rise, Jacob, man. Jacob rising, man.
That's right.
All right.
It also goes to show, you know what I'm saying, that everything have a season, man. You know, Esau's season is his time now. But that season is coming to an end.
You got it.
Again, the elder just said generation, a Psalm 14 and 15. There were they in great fear, for the Most High is in the generation of the righteous.
The Most High is in and this is the generation of the righteous. Well, the 1/3 within this nation, because we're going to be, I be willing, the 1/3. That's actually going to be the nation in itself. The 2/3 is going to come out of us. So really, the body of Yahushua is the nation within itself, man.
Right.
Because the 2/3 of our people, they're going to get destroyed right along with America, man. All right.
It's a separate house.
Yep.
That body of Yahushua is a whole house that Yahushua has secluded, basically plucked off into himself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you look at all the houses in this neighborhood right here, right now, this is the house that the Most High has the anointed over.
Yep.
You know,
I got something for the elder.
Yeah.
1 Samuel 2. I'll start at verse 7, read 7 down to 10. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory.
Like you always go into, that's the birth of a nation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that shows the balance. Hey, can you read that again, bro?
He raises up the poor out of the dust and lift up the beggar from the
And
dunghill.
that begins with the elect within the nation of Israel. All right, from Fab had an album. Fab had a name of an album called "From Nothing to Something." Hey, that's what we're approaching, Lord. We are from nothing to something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because we literally have nothing. There's countless debates and discussions about what's the economic solution for the situation in America for the Israelites. What can we do economically? You can do absolutely nothing. All you can do is repent, because we didn't put ourselves in this position. We didn't put ourselves at the bottom of capitalism, at the bottom of Esau's kingdom. We didn't make ourselves a beggar at this table. The Most High made us a beggar at his table as a result of our deviation from Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. This is punishment.
Yep.
So we're going to come back in the power through repentance and obedience. All right?
We would say they're going to a promotion.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They're gonna lift you out the dust. Like you were just saying, going that first phase, the dust is confusion. First, you gotta get lifted out of confusion.
Yeah, brother.
And this is like spiritual orientation before the Most High put us, in rulership.
Yeah.
You got certain jobs we had to have a day-long orientation.
Yeah, 8 hours.
Yeah.
But this is that time of spiritual. First, we had to get out the dust, and then we was enrolled into the orientation, and then we're gonna be promoted.
You said what about promotion?
Yeah.
You said what about the promotion?
We're gonna get promoted to rulership.
Hey, Psalm 75 verse 6.
There we
For
go, baby.
promotion come neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Most High is the judge. He put down one and set up another.
I got a precept for that.
You got a point.
Yeah, I was just gonna say so. He just went into all directions of the earth. So let you know, like you were saying, there's nothing we can do in the earth that can put ourselves back in that position.
That's right.
It has to be ordained from on high. Then we can be promoted, but it starts with, like you said, repentance. And obedience.
Man, brother.
It's Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know.
And who's the living? The living, what the brother was just saying. The brothers that came out that confusion, now they're the living.
Because he breathed breath into us.
That's right.
And he civilized us. The law, statutes, and commandments, he civilized us. He brought us back to life, man.
That's right, brother.
We're not a part of dead culture anymore.
Hey, B, since you said that, consider, Psalms 13 and verse 3. Consider and hear me, O Lord Yahweh, my power. Lighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. That's the confusion.
Right.
Back when you
Sit down
don't
in the dust. Let me finish this out. It says, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men.
Yeah. Now we know Edom was the basis, and the Most High put him in power. I think that word base, one of those translations, they'll say like the meekest or whatever, or afflicted. So even even on the duplicity of it, you can flip it and say he could set us up, because we're the base position.
Well, he's going to do that because he said what? He said he was going to make the tail the head.
Yep. And the scripture said the last shall be first, and the first shall be last, man.
Yeah.
And the one that was never thought of should be made a prince or something to that effect.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
sorry, brother.
But now, like you said, it could also translate into afflicted.
Yeah.
Was Isaiah 60. The sons of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. So it's gonna flip. It's gonna be their turn.
And what's another word for flip in modern terms? Afflict in modern terms, oppress.
Yeah.
We went through oppression through slavery, but then we're systemically oppressed. Starting with Jim Crow, prison industrial complex, redlining. All right. It just so happens that in every city, Jake as a collective is at the bottom, and there's a major income disparity. Where Jake's net worth as a family is like $1,400, but Esau's net worth is $250,000. 400 years been in this country. All right.
Quick one, just say you guys.
Come.
I got one.
Okay, come.
This Psalms 37, chapter 1, starting at verse 7. Rest in the Lord Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and
If I can
forsake
add, you
wrath.
said rest. And what the scripture say in what's that, in the book of Jeremiah 6 and 10, go back to the old past, or
You know, man.
then you'll find rest. This is the rest.
Yeah.
This is spiritually satisfying, bro.
That's right. It is.
You know what I'm
As
saying?
soon as I walked in, I got healed.
Exactly.
I was greeted by the elder brother Kazak, and my spirit is, I'm back to myself again.
Say you are trouble rest with us.
Yeah. As soon as I met with the brothers, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And no other thing or mechanism outside of truth can bring you that type of peace.
That's right.
Not money, not women,
Not
not food,
liquor.
not drink, no liquor, and so on and so forth. Nothing.
And all of Esau's pleasures, just to add, it always has a back end to it, a back pay. A lot of times the liquor, you might get a headache. You meet a new woman that's exciting, but then it ends and it's like kind of vexing. You know what I mean? Huh?
She gonna give you a headache.
She gonna get headaches. The food, you get sick or whatever, you might overeat. You know, you might get a toothache.
It's like a disclaimer at the bottom.
Yeah.
Fine print.
Yeah.
Read real fast.
Might F your life up. You know? You got it, bro.
Hey, there was the point right here, verse 9. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord Yahweh, they shall inherit the earth. And that's like the brother Priest Joshua going into. That's their promotion, man.
Yeah.
Because what a person do at the job, man, he wanted promotion. He just do the work. He be patient, and he let his work speak for itself. And then he gradually get promoted to different positions. And this that great promotion we're gonna receive by doing the work, being patient. You know what I'm saying? Do it with outside, and we're gonna receive those palms, man.
Hey, they said inherit the earth. When you talked about this, you said slaves come with land. You know, when the Most High said we're going to inherit earth, we're going to inherit earth and everything that comes with earth.
That's right, bro.
The resources, all right. That's a big thing. The resources, the people to extract the resources, man. All right, yeah. When it says in Second Ezra, the second chapter, it said they received palms in their hand. He put crowns in their head. Crowns means jurisdiction. That means you're going to be allotted authority over a particular jurisdiction on the planet Earth.
That's right.
So you're going to be a governor over a certain piece of providence in America. Because when it says the state shall take the kingdom.
Not America.
I'm sorry. I slipped on the tongue.
Okay, you good.
You're going to have jurisdiction of a certain providence on Earth.
That's right.
Because when Yahweh Shai, he's about to perform a military coup. But then he's about to have something called chronism. So when he comes into power, just like Alexander and his 4 generals, all right, Yahweh Shai has 144,000 generals. So he's going to put his cronies, his friends, over different positions on the planet Earth, man.
And space.
All right. And space.
So righteousness can multiply in the earth.
Hey, y'all remember Power Rangers? But after a while, they go out to what? Space. Like Power Rangers in space. They always branch out. It starts on Earth, then they branch out, man. Yeah, y'all act like I don't watch Power Rangers.
Like Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have?
Can I break this down now? Hey, forsaken in the Greek means abandoned. So basically, you gave up everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From a meaning, really, you have a house, you have a job, and things of that nature. But at the same time frame, really, in the spirit, you have no spiritual attachment.
Yeah, because you've been in this truth 10 years, 5 years. You've forsaken the opportunity to be successful in this society. You know, you might sustain yourself in this society, but a lot of brothers are bright, man. You got brothers that's bright that they would have stuck to their craft for 5-10 years. They would have been on the 6-figure end or the millionaire end, man. So we forsook that, all right, for everlasting wealth, man, in riches, man. Everlasting, man. You know, because like all of the people who are successful on this side, they only have like a 20-year reign. Then they corrode. Michael Jordan, just different people, man. Mike Tyson. They have a 10, 15, 20-year reign, then they just corrode, man.
I got a precept. So like you got it.
You said everlasting. Nothing's everlasting. You get a brand new car, but then it breaks down.
Yep.
You get a brand new house, it breaks down.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You get a younger woman, she gets older.
You get old.
You know.
Which scripture go to our time and chance?
Happens to every man. And this is the most beautiful thing, and I'm honored and I'm proud in righteousness to be in this position, man. We're in the middle of a transition to our willing as us. We be on top, man.
Yeah, before we started up, Taz was making the point. You look at all the people on the earth. There's a lot of people on the earth. The Lord enlightened us to this truth.
About 8 billion. It's about 8 billion people on earth. You know?
You're back to 144,000.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. That's the seed of a cluster. That's not the cluster is the nation of Israel. So that's the seed of a vineyard. Not even the cluster, but the seed of a great vineyard, man. The vineyard is the populations on earth, the nations on earth. I got it, brother.
You got some more, LeBron?
Yes, one more verse. Matthew 19:28. It says, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
And it starts with knowledge, man. That's why I said the beginning of a kingdom starts with wisdom, and wisdom of Solomon 6. The information and rising out of the dust, rising from the state of being dead, that's the seed to rulership. The Most High already planted that seed. Us waking up was the seed that was planted. Because you said it's a time to plant and the time to pluck up that which is planted. We've been planted when we woke up.
Yeah.
If you want to go deeper, we were already planted in the spirit of what our lot was going to be. The seed was planted, started with the apostles at Great Millstone.
And knowledge starts with obedience.
Yep.
And, you know, you think about the elect through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah, you know, you come into the truth, basically, you sell out to the Most High. And every kingdom that we seen dealing with Satan, what did these kingdoms do? They always sold out. Esau, Edom, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you have to you have to get down and lay down in order to receive something. And it's the same mechanism with the Most High.
Yep. And power comes from obedience. There's this particular author who went into the ways and the customs of the East, and he went into the state of Genesis. He was like, Adam, when he received the breath of life, he received all the information, of course, the law. He received the information of the Hebrew. He received basically the knowledge of the world around him.
That's right.
But he was like, contrary to science that teaches you that we started from a primitive state and evolved to a more advanced state, actually we were more advanced in the beginning and then we devolved later on. He said we were the most advanced because we were the most obedient back then. So during the time of Adam, or when we were called the sons of the Most High, we were in a state of obedience, and that's why we were in that position of power.
But that makes sense. So think about it. If you're more obedient, the Most High is going to continue to pour into you.
And that's a story of Israel. When we were intimate with him, and when he gave us his laws, and we married him, we kept his laws, what do we have? We had King David's rulership, and the brother explained how King David, he spent billions, if not trillions, on a temple. So, but they said King David had a heart after the Most High.
Yeah, that's right.
So the closer we are in obedience to Yahweh Shema Shai, the more power we have on the planet Earth. It's a direct mathematical correlation.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the book of Judah, where the Moabite soldier had told his king, the Ammonites,
Yeah. 5 and 20.
What was it?
5 and 20.
5 and 20, about pretty much basically, you know what I'm saying, he can't go into these people to try to conquer them because they was intact with their power. Well, if they leave their power, then that's going to be the time to overtake them.
Yeah, and Edom knows this.
Yeah.
They know the science of it because they study Jake. They know our history, you know. But yeah, you got it, bro.
Yes, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High had made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions.
Yep. So he made us upright. Doing the prototype was Adam. That was the intention to be upright. But then we deviated because he's also planted a wicked seed in Adam. Because part of the grand scheme of things was for Adam to go off to eventually reincarnate into Yahweh, which would be the completed product of really the nation of Israel, of perfection.
Yeah.
But a wicked seed, a wicked root was planted in Adam through disobedience. Yeah. And that led to the decaying of our people and the planet Earth, man.
Yeah.
All right, that decay.
Yep.
But the beginning, in order to decay, you have to have a pure state at first.
Mm-hmm.
So in the time of Adam and or the sons of Yahweh Shema Shai, we were in a pure state, man. You know, and the pure state gave us a position of what? Power.
Yep. If
your girl do right by you, you're gonna give her anything she wants.
Yeah, brother.
You know?
The sons of God, hence Israel. Yep. But basically you think about it, it's really a repeat. Yeah. Because the apostles they said in the spirit, it only makes sense that John the Baptist would have to be our forefather Abraham. Abba Bivens would have to be Abraham, same spirit. But it makes sense. This all started from one man. So it's happening again. But this is the time we're going to get it right, you know?
And so I had did a video some months ago. So Abba means what?
Father.
Father. And then they used to call John the Baptist, I think John the Baptist, they used to call him Abba. You know, so... No, Salakia, Abba Bivens.
But I mean, it's spiritual.
Yeah, Abba Bivens, they used to call him father, but you link that up in the spirit, they go all the way back to who? Abraham.
Yep.
You know?
That's it,
father
man.
Many nations.
Yep.
You know?
I got some link with Elder Bun. because basically like Elder Z going into this basically what we doing now.
Well, the Most High told Abraham, kings shall come out of our loins.
Yeah.
So kings came from the offspring spiritually of Abba Bivens. You know, the future rulers of the world. Start with the apostles of Great Millstone. You know, it sprung out spiritually from Abba Bivens.
That grain of mustard seed.
That grain of mustard seed. It proliferated.
All right, this book of Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Heavenly Father.
And you know what? And I'm so glad you brought this up, because Deion Sanders would say, hey, this is opportunity.
Yeah.
No, that's a sellout. That's a sellout, because Moses could have did the same thing.
He could do the
hey,
same
this
thing.
is opportunity from the Most High. No. Basically, he stayed in the spirit, and what did he do? He waited that shit out. He waited it out.
And Moses, that's our first king.
Integrity,
Yep.
which means what? Innocence.
Yep. Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Heavenly Father than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
So meaning, why sell out when at the end of the day you're gonna die sooner or later? It
And
just
what's-
makes sense to just fucking ride it out and receive everlasting life.
Especially at this point, man, like this, we're witnessing a dying kingdom. When your money is being devalued, it's a dying kingdom. When the family structures in America are being decimated through debauchery, it's a dying kingdom.
Yeah.
When nobody believes what the government, as soon as something happens on the news, there's somebody breaking it down on YouTube like this is what they really mean. This is what they really saying. When you lose the belief of the people, it's a dying kingdom, man. Might as well weigh it out.
Yep. Than to try to get some type of little power, you know.
Yep.
It says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
And I just thought about it. Egypt had treasure cities. So it said, esteeming the reproach of Yahweh greater than the treasures in Egypt. And just to give it context, we were building treasure cities in Egypt, which was storehouses for the gold of the pharaohs.
Yeah, man.
So they don't even really have that here. You had actual cities that were made as storehouses for the treasures in Egypt. So it wasn't a light thing to say he was esteemed higher than the treasures of Egypt. That was a big matter, man.
Hebrews 11.
You know? Because it tells
26.
you in Exodus that we built treasure cities. So there was a lot of treasure in Egypt, is what I'm saying.
Moses was of the nobility of Egypt.
So he had access to that.
Yeah, he had access. Like he was like a prince.
Yeah.
He left for empire and jumped out there in the wilderness, man.
David.
You know, we were just speaking about that in the car. What it was in Exodus, because it's spiritual. Get that in Exodus, because when he was out there in the wilderness, what was Moses doing when he left
Yeah,
the
man.
nobility of Egypt? He was in the wilderness, and it goes to what he was doing. I believe it was in Exodus. I think it was 6. Because
You know, it's a thing on Netflix, a movie on Netflix, I think, Barbarian. This guy, he went from he grew up as a Roman. Basically grew up as a Roman.
Yeah.
And basically, I guess he found out who his people was.
Uh-huh.
And guess what? He had everything too. He left the Roman, went back to his people. Basically, same thing, like Moses did.
This is Exodus chapter 3, verse 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Yahweh, even to Herod.
so Moses led a flock, was pretty much a shepherd, through dry land. Like our people was dry in the spirit, but he led them to the mountain of the Most High. He led them to the government of the Most High. So he left a thriving government to go in the desert in the dry land to lead the sheep into the government of the Most High. You know, that's the story of the elect.
And tell me that King David, he started out as a shepherd.
Yep.
Man,
So
bro.
he was, you know.
And you know what? And greater riches, Moses actually saw the kingdom as well. I'm talking about the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
Because think about this. When you read this in the NLT, Hebrews 11:26, he thought it was better to suffer for the sake of Mashiach than to own the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking ahead to his greater, for he was looking ahead to his great reward. So Moses seen it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Yahweh sitting on the throne of David.
I'm gonna be. That's why it says, and this is what Moses meant when he said choose life, because he saw the kingdom.
Yeah.
He came back down and said, look, choose life. I stand before you, life and death. Like choose life, because he had came down and saw the kingdom.
The Most High gave him. He showed him everything,
Yep.
bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
You gotta get a count. It's 2 Ezra 14:3. It says, then said he unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses and talk with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount where I held him by me a long season and told him many wondrous things and showed him the secrets of times.
So Yahweh Shai, through the protocol of the Most High, poured into Moses.
And the end, and commanded him, saying, these words shalt thou declare, these shalt thou hide.
Yep.
Like he say, choose life, but he didn't go into detail.
Yeah.
You know? Like it was based on faith.
Yep.
Like, look, this the way. Most real thing, like this the way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because you said choose the, you showed him the end, right? And then greater riches that's going into the end.
I got something.
Yep.
And this Proverbs 8, start 33. Hear instructions and be wise and refuse it not. Blessed the man that hear me. Watch daily at my gates. Wait at the posts of my doors. It's the point like life.
And that's what the priests would do. They would be at the gates. You know, when Samuel's mother, you know, came to Eli, you know, he was at the gates. You know, that was one of the duty of the priests, you know, to be at the gates of the temple, man. And that's what we're doing now. Because what the temple is, the people, the believers, you know. And we pretty much, you at the gate, you was monitoring what was going in and going out. So through doctrine, through the YouTube, we're monitoring what's going in and out the gates, man. That was one of the duties of the priests, you know.
Verse 35. For whosoever, so for whoso findeth me, findeth life, and shall attain favor of Yahweh Shai.
And we found life, you know, through Yahweh Shai, you know. Because now, like, we the only people on the earth that got something to look forward to. Everybody else trying to scrap and try to, you know, put together that old 2015, 16 era. Like, they trying to scrap to keep that together. That's why they're going to take the Quran.
Yeah.
They want to try to salvage that old, you know, the time when it was thriving. You see, but we the only ones through Yahweh Shai that have something to look forward to past all this, man. You know?
Yep. You got it. You saw it? Yep. Okay.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 6, starting verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
That reminds me of a friend of Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was so liberal with his money that all his wealth was leaving. So what his friend did, he set up a certain type of account so he can't access the millions of dollars until he's 50. And it's like he laid up treasures for him for later on. And the same thing with the hopeful elect. Through this work and through our labor of love, we're storing up treasures for the kingdom to come.
That's right, bro.
We can't access it now, but we're gonna have it in the kingdom to come.
Yeah, and that's the opposite of the Edom system, because like dealing with this man, like investing in his stocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was called a Ponzi scheme, and they'll prohibit you from getting your money.
That's right.
You know, but the elect gonna be able to cash out. You know, through Yahweh Shai.
And that's like what Moses was saying, man. Like, you know, this is the way, you know, live. Because brother going into, hey, the Most High showed him the true treasures, man, in heaven. And that's what something to look forward to versus these earthly treasures, man, that he had access to with Egypt.
Yep.
Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Yep.
And Moses' heart was Yahweh Shem Shai. That's why through the Spirit he was willing to walk away from that position and those riches with Pharaoh to do the will of Yahweh Shem Shai, to suffer with his people, man, because he knew the greater thing that was going to come later was going to be everlasting.
That's right. All right, go ahead.
This is 2 Ezra 8:53. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness in the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past.
That's in the kingdom. That's the activation of the new covenant.
Because the long disease has been removed.
That's the activation of the new covenant. So,
Go ahead.
yeah, so like Apostle Tara was saying, you have to understand something. The covenant has been established, meaning what? It has been set up. However, it's not active. You know, it's a difference between setting up something and it's actually functioning. It's not functioning, however, it's set up, it's established.
And we'll jump up to 52. It says, "For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted."
And like Elder Z was saying, it starts with this knowledge. The tree of life starts with this knowledge.
The time is come. The time to come is prepared. Plentiness is made ready. A city is built.
And that's what we see. So this is what we're actually entering into. Access of the Spirit.
That's right, brother.
Right?
Real quick.
Plenteous, man. You know, our forefathers were plenteous, man.
Yeah, bro.
Like on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
You know, and they were doing it just in this small region of Israel, man.
Yeah.
Imagine the global domination, man. What the plenty is gonna be.
Yeah. And you just deal with the fathers of promise. I was reading about Jacob yesterday, and pretty much like he was in a situation because, you know, Edom, Esau, he wanted to kill him, or he wanted to murder him because of the birthright and the blessing. But pretty much Jacob had set up to where he'll leave each one of his servants so many cattle, just in case, like when he came with his army of 400 men, like to be able to, you know, to bribe him, so to speak, like a peace offering, you know. But like this is like the beginning, like you said, like the birth of our nation. Like this is the beginning, you know. So how much more in the kingdom, you know?
Since you said that, jump to this. Proverbs 24:3. Through wisdom is a house building. So what's the house being built right
House
now?
of Israel.
The house of, you know, through
The
the
kingdom of
David,
heaven,
the
yeah.
house of David.
House of David, yeah.
So through wisdom is a house builded, and by understanding it is established.
Mm-hmm.
You know? All right, so jump back to 2 Ezra 8:52. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time is come, is prepared, plentiness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed.
That's it.
Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
Yeah.
The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
And this is the activation of the new covenant. So we can't get that activated until after the deliverance.
Yeah. We still corrupt
We still corrupted.
by default. We were talking about it before.
So if anybody is saying that, you know, the new covenant is activated, then them along with Yahweh Shah are the only individuals within that concept.
They show you how Moses was in that spirit when he said, choose thee life.
Yeah.
Verse 54, sorrows will pass, and in the end it showed the treasure of immortality.
No more pain.
You ever remember like the day after your sickness leaves? Like you suffer with the flu for weeks or a fever for days. When the pain finally subsides, that peace that you have in your spirit and your body, you know, is unspeakable. So just imagine the planet Earth in our existence when Esau is no longer in the rulership of Earth. The peace is gonna be on Earth, man. When the inflammation is finally out the way, man. You know.
All right, this is 2 Ezra chapter 2 and verse 13. It says, Go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
Yep. You can break it down.
You know, just going into the entire topic of understanding the activation of the new covenant to where the new covenant will be fully implemented.
That's right.
The contract has already been agreed upon, right? Hence, the new covenant has already been attached and associated from Yahweh to his own begotten son, to the elect of Israel first and foremost, but ultimately to the entire nation, because as it states, all of Israel shall be saved.
It's heavy.
You know, but this point right here is that the kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch, meaning what? That the only thing that we have to do is what the scriptures command us to do, as it states, those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved.
Yeah, man.
So understanding that is what is the true definition of spiritual leveling up.
Yeah, man.
Hey, well, with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give all any glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
the understrike of the apostles and the bishops of great millstone and well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba,
Kwame Yashrala.
Yabashma Shabbat.
Shalom.